Hey guys, Lex here, with something a little bit different this time. I'm actually doing something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So, as you can probably see by the title, this video is about virtual reality. So, before we begin, I actually have two projects in the work. One is an article, sort of paper I'm writing about my own experiences and everything, and tackling a couple of the issues and some of the pros and cons, and just writing about virtual reality in general and my personal experiences. And I'm also going to be doing, at some point hopefully, a short documentary on it as well. This is just a random video, non-scripted. So I've been spending a lot of time in virtual reality, mainly VRChat. I've also got other VR games I play, but mainly VRChat. And the one thing that I always found fascinating about it is everyone always asks me about it, or when I post pictures like, oh, that looks amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and show off my setup. So my current setup right now is the original HTC Vive, and this is now discontinued. So I'm praying to God this lasts a while I can save my money and get a more modern headset. But this is the original HTC Vive, with the 90Hz resolution and everything, 90Hz refresh rate, sorry, and the basic resolution, the basic lenses. And yeah, I've got the deluxe audio strap on here. I added some custom padding. I replaced the foam mask with the pleather one that I purchased, and also for the back of the, these are by VR cover for the back of the deluxe strap. And I have my cable here, which I bought a pulley system for. If you see here, it's attached to this pulley system that whoosh, and keeps the cable off the ground and gives me more freedom and nothing to trip over. And this is a very nice headset, very sturdy, very durable. I did start with the original Oculus Rift CV1, and that was a great headset, but I had some problems, mainly with the audio because of the audio cable being fed through. As you can see on the HTC here, this is the audio cable. It goes into the top of the headset with a standard 3.5mm jack, and that's good because you can swap this out with your own choice of headphones by putting it in the jack. And as you can see, the cable feeds directly onto these headphones, and there's nothing here to really, there's nothing to snag it on, whereas the Oculus, the cable goes round the headband, so every time you adjust it, that cable gets pulled and eventually it will wear and tear and you'll get no audio. That was one of the problems I had. It also got very dirty because it had this sort of almost Apple style cloth around it, and it used to get really dirty with your hands and stuff. You had to have to wipe that down. The lenses looked a little better on it in my opinion, but this thing is a tank, and it comes with the laser lighting, base stations, which are far more accurate, but also use motors so that they can also break down because there's moving mechanical parts. I also have the full body here, so I can use my legs in virtual reality. I have the Vive pucks, or the trackers, and this is the one with the hip strap that goes around my waist onto my hip, and I have two others down there that go on both my feet, and I've got straps for them so I can move my legs in VR. And that's good because the terms normally used in VR, desktop, half body and full body. So desktop is just me playing the game VRChat on my desktop using my keyboard and mouse to move around. Half body is headset and two hands, but you can't move your legs, and full body is entire full body. And you can lay down under the stars and stuff with full body. I can lay down in my bed. I sometimes fall asleep in VR. It's great because I've got a toolkit, which I also have, that I can pull up that shows me my desktop screen. So I can pull that up and see my screen, so I can put on Netflix, lay down in my bed with my headset on, and just lay back and watch it in a huge ass screen instead of my small PC one. So essentially, you don't really need a big TV if you have a VR headset. And if the resolution is too low, you simply just put on some anti-aliasing, turn up the super sampling and all that stuff, and you're good to go. Also, I got a new vape, by the way, guys. I had an Aegis X. It broke on me. It stopped reading stuff, and then the front paneling came off when I dropped it, which annoyed me. It was just stuck on with glue. Really sturdy glue, but still glue, so I got this one. It's quite cool. So, yeah, so I basically went onto VRChat for a while, played my VR, put it to the side, and then my payments went away for a week. And I was so bored. I had nothing to do, so I took the headset on and I had some coconut rum, and I started getting a little bit drunk and going around the world and just fucking around people, going to open mic night, making jokes, being an edgy boy and shit like that. And I made a bunch of friends, and I started hanging out with this other group, hanging out with them for months, and then some of those guys left. That's one thing about VR that I've experienced is that makes it interesting, is you're thrown into so many different situations that you wouldn't normally be thrown into. So, I mean, I'm face to face with people, and again, even though it's VR, it's way more immersive because they can get up in your face and stuff. If someone's pissed off, they're right up in your face. I've even been punched a few times by people, which is kind of freaky because even though I know it's not real, my brain thinks it's real, and I'm like, so I'm like, yo, so. I don't have phantom touch, phantom sense, phantom touch. Some people have, where they can actually kind of feel stuff in VR. I don't have that. I had it one time. I think mine is to do with audio. And here's an interesting story for you. My audio, when I told you about the Rift breaking, when the audio broke on it, I had to use these studio headphones here on it as well. And I didn't have a lot of space because I was in my parents' house at the time with a horrible yellow attic. So I only had about 2 by 2 feet of space. So I could just use the coiled cable here to connect to the headset. So with this being powered by my internal sound card, my Creative 85 and stuff, the sound was miles better with these on. And for some reason I could actually slightly feel when people touched me because of the sound. As weird as that sounds, but when I went and I got my replacement earphone and my replacement Oculus with a fixed cable, it disappeared like it was nothing. It was weird. So there was that, but there is a lot of situations. So you'll meet people that are trans, you'll meet people thinking about being trans or transitioning. You'll meet gay people, straight people. You'll meet people who are wanting to come out of the closet, people who are suicidal, people with severe mental disorders, and people who have seizures, people who have Tourette's. All these things thrown in you. And unlike real life, we can block and mute and run away and hide them, and we don't have to see it. But I've had a few experiences that I would say VR has humbled me, to be honest. I've got Iron Brew and Pink Gin. Weird combo, but actually kind of tastes nice. It's kind of weird, but I can tolerate it. But yeah. A few situations that I'd say it's humbled me because I think I'm relatively able to handle most things. And VR kind of taught me that I really wasn't as tough as I thought I was. After seeing a few things, even though not sad, just interesting, kind of challenging being put in that situation. So, for example, one friend of mine, she was in a wheelchair in real life, but you wouldn't know this in VR because in Half Body, her avatar was standing up and moving the hands, and when she, pushes forward on her controller, her character would walk and stuff. But it blew my mind to think that in real life she can't walk or jump or anything like that, but when she puts the headset on, she can look down and see her legs, physically moving. I always thought that must have been mind-blowing. Seeing that, I thought that just blew my fucking mind just thinking about it. There's another person that I was reading on who actually can see better in VR than they can in real life. The problem with their eyes and their glasses, it was in a review. He had problems always seeing. He can never get just right. But the lenses on the VR and the lens adjustment and stuff, he could see more conveniently and basically better in VR than he could in real life. And that just blew my mind. I also had another friend of mine who used to suffer from epilepsy and seizures and stuff. So, and that was one of the scariest things I think I've ever seen in my fucking life, for real. Because you can't do anything. Seeing that person shaking, seizing up, and you can't do anything. The only thing I could do was just cover their eyes, just put my avatar over there, so the lights. If anyone came in with an avatar that was flashing, it wouldn't do anything. So that was terrifying. It happened once in a nightclub. And it wasn't too bad because there was other people around and, making sure he was okay. It wasn't too bad, but it happened once. It was just us two alone, just me and him watching a video. And we were watching it, and I was so into the video, and I just turned him, I was like, hey, what do you think of this? And next thing I know, he's laying there, and obviously he's got the full body gear on, same as me, so I can see him jerking around and stuff, and I was like, And I just wanted to run away. I remember being there and I just wanted to just exit the game and just run away. And I was like, well, I can't really do that, you know. It was terrifying. I never want to see that shit again, ever. I never want to be in that situation again. But, you know, I'd known the guy over a year and stuff. I mean, you don't just walk out in someone like that, you know. So, especially if you've known them as long as that. So, situations like that. Yeah, I've done some jobs in VR. I used to be a bouncer for a VR nightclub. I've worked with lap dance groups. I've worked with like strip clubs. I've done all sorts of things there. Made a hell of a lot of amazing friends, amazing people. Met some nasty, horrible people. There's a lot of crime in VR too, believe it or not. There's paedophiles, there's hackers, there's crasher gangs where they're like for example, they will have an avatar that spams 10,000 particles at once and it fucks your PC up, crashes your game, or blue screens your PC if it's really bad. People like that. Some do it for fun, some do it because that's the ironic thing. If you mainly there's a lot of thievery as well. If I do some 3D modeling work and I make an avatar or I make a map and some guy with a client or a hacking tool forcefully rips that map and downloads it and re-uploads it and steals it for himself, especially if I'm running a business in VR, if I'm selling my avatars for $50-$60 each or whatever and they're stealing them, and that's losing business. So what people do is they'll go to some of the gangs and say, here, can you take care of this guy, and blah blah blah. And then what happens? They crash him, he ends up on the list, and then he'll get pissed off and get his friends to, and it's just one big fucking shit show. Paedophiles, all that stuff, that is all that crime in VR. And it's a very volatile place. It just works. You would, in theory, you would think a place like VRChat with all these people from different backgrounds, with disabilities or different languages, different cultures, different upbringing. It sounds like a fucking shit show. It should just be a complete failure. It should not succeed, but it does, and it's a very fine balance, and it just works somehow. It's very volatile. It can be thrown off, and it can go to shit so fast. But it just works. It's an amazing experience, and if it wasn't for VR, I wouldn't be able to move out. Because when I was thinking of moving out and being alone was terrifying. But with VR, I can put my headset on, or even just play on desktop and see my friends. If I'm lonely or I'm like, oh shit, I just put my headset on and boom, I'm on a beach. You know, I'm watching a sunset, I'm on a cruise ship, I'm flying a plane, I'm driving a car at night, you know. Anything I want. And yeah, without VR, I don't think it gave me the strength to move out, because I figured, you know, I can still see my friends as well. And I didn't like this house when I first moved out. I didn't like sleeping here. It made me uneasy. I was like, this is scary. So I just slept in VR. I put on my headset. I went to one of the world's maps that I recognised and enjoyed and I was used to, and I just slept in VR, and I could sleep better because that's the ironic thing. This real house that I moved into, this real physical house in the real world, I felt more at home in a virtual land than I did in the real world. Sleeping on a bed in VR, I felt safer than sleeping in this bed in real life at first, you know, because I didn't know the house. It was new to me, and that's kind of freaky. It really, again, humbles you, puts you in these situations that you wouldn't even consider. I mean, 10 years ago, these situations when are you going to end up in a situation like that? Ones and zeros as well, and seeing friends disappear. Someone may just leave, stop playing VR, or they may need money and sell their headset, and they may just get bored of it, and 1 minute you're sitting hanging out and getting a little drunk and having a few beers and watching funny videos and laughing, and you may never see them again, ever. You may never ever see them again. They'll be gone for good for whatever reason. Funny story, I had a friend, he was only, I think he was 18. I can't remember. No, I remember his username, but I'm not going to say it, obviously, for his privacy. But he had a medical condition, and he was taking these pills. And as a joke, I didn't think about it at the time. It was actually very stupid what I did. But I was having a drink, and he's like, "Oh, I still want to drink with you, but on these pills." I'm like, "I'll tell those pills to go fuck themselves." And I meant it as a joke, and he actually said, "Screw it," and cracked open some vodka and started drinking. So I was like, "Oh." And the funny thing is, he never came online for like 6 months, and I was sitting thinking, wait, shit, He's been, ever since he drank all on this medication and with his illness, he didn't come on for like 3 to 6 months, and I was sitting there freaking out like, oh my god, did I kill this guy? Did he fucking die because of that? And then I found him online for like an hour one time, and he was all good. But you know, you don't know. Seeing people move and stuff in real life, it's more immersive and way more of a mindfuck than seeing him in an online game. You know, nightclubs, everything like that. So much to do, driving at night, flying planes, watching sunsets, going to gorgeous beaches, going in theme parks, going in roller coasters. There's just so much to do out there. You know, if VRChat doesn't have it, nobody's thought of it yet, you know. Anyway, I just thought I'd just do this video to share some of my thoughts and stuff. I'm interested to see anyone else's feedback on it too, if anyone has VR or what setup you use and why, and what your experiences are, or what experiences you would like to have. Anyway, I'm going to end this video with a short montage with some pictures that I took of VR with some friends and other people, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought it'd be something different because I've never really talked about it. I am going to finish writing that article, and I'm going to hopefully get a documentary done that's more organised and stuff than this. But I thought this would spice things up, get some content to the channel that's kind of different, something I've never talked about before, that I've wanted to talk about for ages. Of course I'm going to talk about it because I spent a fortune on this fucking thing. So anyway, you guys have fun, stay safe, keep on smelling fly.